Man of Steel #3, Brian Michael Bendis writing, with Ryan Sook on art, with 1 page, 2 pages maybe, by Jason Fabuk.
I've had a lot of my friends be like, I can't believe you like Man of Steel. It's not that good. I was like, it's not over yet. Let's chill. You've literally only got half of it. Like, do you go to the movies and be like, this movie sucks, and the half? Like,
some people do.
Yeah, and then you just leave, and they're like, nah, you know. But this, I felt this was not a centerpiece, but like, the stories really got started.
Oh yeah, I like this issue a lot. I really like this issue. I thought this issue had probably one of the darkest moments I've seen in a while in a DC comic.
Dude, I got so sorrowful. I had a rough week. I got hit by anxiety. This book did no favors to help ease that anxiety. So, man, just the art here, because I don't want to spoil the page, but man, I got sad. Super sad.
I mean, obviously, Rogolzar lands on Earth. He arrives at the fortress, and there's not a lot of dialogue here. It's just him landing there, going into the fortress. He destroys Calyx. First of all, because Calyx is like, you don't belong here. It's like, quiet, robot. And we end this scene with him finding the bottled city of Kandor. And I'm like, oh dear, what's going to happen? And that's when we cut to Superman, and he's with the fire lady that we've been introduced to.
Yeah.
Moore, I think her name is. And he's like, oh yeah, I called someone who's a good investigator. I'm like, oh, this is going to be Batman, and I'm like, and I remembered actually because a few days before this came out, Bendis was like teasing on Twitter that he wrote his first ever Batman scene. So here we are. We had some Batman in this, and this was a fun scene. I like the humor between them. Because Superman accidentally scares her when he appears out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, sorry, I forgot that your senses wouldn't have, picked me up.
Yeah.
In the shadows. And then Batman appears and scares the shit out of her. And he's like, okay, now I did it by accident. You did that on purpose.
On purpose. Yeah.
I'm Batman.
It was because that's what he does. He appears from the shadows and then disappears while you're talking to him.
Yeah.
Because he's rude.
Superman also Batman's out of the scene here because they're basically just talking about the fires and they're trying to figure things out.
Yeah, and Superman has this thing where he's like, well, who's ever doing these fires is doing them under my nose, almost like to spite me. But he can't worry about that because he gets like a signal watch call that only like he can hear.
Yeah, from the
and
fortress.
He takes off.
Yeah,
from the fortress, and Batman makes a comment to Moore like, when you have the world's most polite man and he leaves without saying goodbye, something must be really earth-shattering.
Yeah, it's for a good reason.
That shows that Bendis he gets Superman, like what makes him tick, just by showing what Batman thinks of him.
Yeah, and the art is fun. Like when he arrives at the fortress and there's that close up of his eyes, and then he's looking around the destruction. And then eventually, Kara pops. So this is the first we see Supergirl in the book. Yep. And she pops, oh, what happened here? And she's asking questions and what's going on. And Clark's like crying about Kandor, and he's like, I was supposed to save them. I was going to, bring them back, and I couldn't. And then she looks up, and you get that page, the art, the panel, the broken, the city of Kandor, the bottle's been broken, it's destroyed. It's like a super dark moment. It's like that's an entire city full of people that have just, he's just killed.
And thinking of this like in a meta way, this makes it. I like it when Superman and Kara are like the only Kryptonians. Always having that tease of the bottled city, and we got it in the world of New Krypton, and I thought it was handled well. And they got out of that hole that they dug by destroying the other Krypton, or New Krypton rather. Here now it just returns Kara and Superman to being the only Earthbound Kryptonians. Like, sure, there might be other Kryptonians out in space that got away.
And I feel criminals like the TV in the show zone and stuff.
Well, yeah, I feel like the TV show's done a really good job at that. Like, sure, they're the last Kryptonians we know of, but I like that it does there, and I just like how heartbroken Superman is. And Kara, who kind of, like, she's heartbroken too, but it's a different level for Clark.
Well, you're saying he's more heartbroken?
Yeah, because I feel like he's had a longer time with it because, her whole timey-wimey, getting here late, she's still a teenager. Like, she actually has memories of all of that, but this was his promise, and now he can't fulfill it because of Zar,
I think you could argue that she actually cares even more because she does have the memories. Like, to her, this is not just like a story of what happened before she was born.
And yeah, and I feel like, well, I just feel like Superman's been with it longer. Like, yeah, she has all the memories and whatnot, but again, like, I keep going, like, how heartbroken he was that he couldn't fulfill his promise to Kandor. Like, I'll get this figured out, and now he can't. Like, Zar took basically his heritage away, like what he was meant to do.
Yeah, and of course, Kara asks about Lois and John if they're safe, and he's like, they're not here.
Yep.
We do get our one, no, just it is just one page this time actually, the tease of the giant head, and we see it open, and we don't get to see who it is. We see someone inside. There was a green light behind them. They look bald, and you hear John ask, "Who is that, Dad?" There is 3 like smaller lights around the circle, which would maybe imply a Brainiac of some kind, but I'm just stretching at that point.
Yeah, there's also a hint of green, too. I feel like they want us to think that it's Luthor. I don't think it is.
Yeah.
If it is a Luthor, it's a Luthor from the future that's actually heroic, that rose above the hatred of Kryptonians, you know, and he's here to help Superman. Because while Clark's broken up about Lois and John not being there, it doesn't seem tragic. It seems like they're almost a witness protection, you know?
Yeah, he's not allowed to see them to keep them safe, kind of thing. And he tells Kara to go, like, you know, make sure your loved ones are okay, and then meet me in Metropolis. And Superman basically comes in, he checks the city, tries to look for whoever, make sure the planet's okay, make sure, you know, all the usual spots are okay. And that's when he gets hit, and we get this fantastic action scene. He gets blasted, and he goes across, like, he goes past the Daily Planet window, and you see like Jimmy and Perry look out, and you have Supergirl who actually catches him. And it's like, okay, right, so we've got both supers here. And she's like, okay, so why don't you introduce me to this future dead person that we're going to fight? So that's actually the whole issue. The final page is like, we finally see Rogol Zar. He's on top of one of the buildings, and both Superman and Supergirl are flying towards him. And that's the whole issue. It's just, you know, he came to Earth, and he is drawn first blood, and it is a big first blood.
He's not hesitating, and he's not making these big grand statements to the world. It's strictly personal.
Yeah.
Like,
because what he did was super dark. I was not expecting Rogol Zar's thing to, like, I mean, obviously he's claiming that he destroyed Krypton, and we're speculating if that's true or not, and he wants to kill them all at the very least. But actually having him kill Kandor City and everyone inside it is like, oh, that is like really okay. He's like a proper war criminal now.
Is where Clark names all the people he can remember in there, and he's almost like shell shocked.
Yeah, because he gets to like 5 or 6, but how many people of, you know, thousands can you possibly remember? You know, even if you are Superman.
But the fact that he does, and they're not nameless inhabitants of the city. He knew them, so oh man, it was dark. It hit me right in the heart.
I thought it was a great issue. I think this is probably the best of the 3 so far.
Yeah.
Obviously, unlike the last issue, the art is very consistent. You have the 1 page of Fabic in the middle, because it's like that thing.
It's all Ryan Sook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It nails the action very well.
Yeah, it's not like next level art by any means, but it's Sook, I think, always has done a good Superman. So, and it plays to his strengths, like you said, with the action. And even the facial expressions in this one were real strong. That scene where he sees all the damage.
Yeah, I think both when Rogol Zar first arrives at the fortress, and then when Superman goes back and finds the damage, they're both very similar scenes in that they're both kind of like walking in and sort of witnessing it for the first time. Yeah, and
they're very quiet kind of scenes. You know,
there's no dialogue really on any of it. Yeah,
so it's unsettling to say. Like, I'm curious to see where Zar goes, but yeah, I want Superman to just end him. That's it.
Nah, super good. So I suppose we'll rate the book. It's actually a really quick one to talk about, because it is essentially just other than the Batman scene, it's, you know, Rogol Zar arrives, he wrecks the fortress, he destroys Kandor City, the emotional impact hits both Superman and Supergirl about that, and then they meet him in Metropolis and the fight's ready to go. So, but I think it's really effective in what it's doing. So we'll rate the book. Matt, what are you giving it out of 10?
This one's an 8.5. I really enjoyed it.
Cool. Oh, I thought we were going to give some reasoning.
We talked about everything. I enjoyed it.
Sure.
It hit hard. The art was great. The art was... I want to say it's good, but not great, but I enjoyed the art, so it looked fantastic.
Yeah, okay. But yeah. I'm going to go as high as a 9. I thought this was simple, it was effective, it made some big moves in terms of what the plot is. It made Rogozar, even if his design's still kind of lackluster, his motivations and his actions are far more interesting than I think we were expecting them to be before we started this. So, no, 9 out of 10. And again, consistent art always helps.